This is Typhoon Cafe at Plaza Singapura. It has been around since 2017. To know what's really at stake, here's a super quick explanation of the story so far.
So in 2017, Typhoon Cafe launches right here at Plaza Singapura. At its peak, it has 4 outlets: Plaza Singapura, Kallang Wave Mall, I12 Katong, and Bugis Plus. Over the 9 years, the F&B landscape shifted. Rising costs, changing retail environments, evolving consumers, and COVID accelerating all of it. The decision was made to regroup at the Plaza Singapura flagship. Everything led to this moment.
Currently, Typhoon Cafe is going through the biggest revamp in its history. $20,000 and 2 months to bring back the good old days. There's only one worry: the person in charge of this revamp. And the person is me. In November 2025, Andie joins Creative Eateries. That's me.
2 months ago, I acquired Creative Eateries, which is a F&B food group in Singapore. So under Creative Eateries, we have 14 brands.
I was immediately overwhelmed. Eventually, I decided that I needed to focus on 2 things. 1, the restructuring of the marketing department, and 2, building a content arm for Creative Eateries. And I was very determined not to be distracted. December 2025, now I'm in Taiwan, and I recall my experience dining here when I was in Singapore. Typhoon Cafe has its highlights, but after close to 10 years, it feels like it's time for a refresh. Eventually, when I was in Taiwan, I was just chatting with Kate, my wife, chatting about how a Taiwanese cafe should be in Singapore. Then eventually led to the 2 experiences that I, as a Singaporean, really enjoyed when I was in Taiwan. So one, it was the casual Taiwanese bubble tea house experience. It's a 泡泡茶馆. It was very chill. It was nothing too fancy. It was very affordable, very comfortable, very welcoming. Number 2, Kate actually made pot boiled milk tea for me at home. That was the first time I tried 锅煮奶茶, and it felt so different from what I tasted outside.
Fast forward to January 2026 now. I returned back to Singapore to continue my work with Creative Eateries.
In a management meeting, they were discussing about Typhoon Cafe. My computer was open and my deck was there, so I just...
But right now, that's the concept. A tea house that's a small portion and that is presented aesthetically.
The meeting went silent, and then I just felt this responsibility on my shoulder. They tried to convince me by saying, 1, I've been living in Taiwan for so long. 2, my wife is Taiwanese. I basically am the closest culturally to Taiwan. And with the deck, they saw a very clear and specific idea that we could develop into basically the revamp of Typhoon Cafe. To summarize, I basically failed on my mission to not get distracted. And then somehow Typhoon Cafe's revamp ended up on my plate.
好，这是我的开场白。
I've just picked up Kate from the airport. Now we are heading to Typhoon Cafe. I kind of half hustled, half convinced Kate, my wife, to lead the project because I have a lot on my plate. My pitch to her was that, okay, she's going to lead the project from Taiwan and I will supervise. Kate, for some context, she has experience in F&B. She has run F&B before, and she's a cook, and she's Taiwanese, so basically she's the perfect person. So I kind of half conned her into taking over the project.
我有个预感，就是预算会爆掉，所以我要在有限的预算里面就发挥最大的效能，真的是考倒我了。你可以再多给我50万吗？
So Kate, she goes all in. For a while, it seems great. Like, okay, good, things are moving, and I don't have to take up too much of my space because I know she's in charge of it. But slowly, cracks started to form. We could start to see some of the problems that were happening. To be fair, at this point, I've only been in the company for about 3 months. Kate, even a shorter period of time, there was a lot of figuring things out as it went. Now we move to the second half of February. We flew Kate over from Taiwan to Singapore to see the space again, to taste the food, to assess the equipment, to look at what are the things we lack and things like that. What this did was to reassure that it was going to be very hard for Kate to be the overall in charge for this project because there's a lot to be done. She won't be in Singapore to constantly do the testing cycles, the QC of the food, to do the SOP of the tea, to taste the tea. There's just so many things to be done right and need her to be present in Singapore. So I started to argue with my wife over work. Basically, it was straining our relationship. Okay, so eventually it got to a point whereby I just made the call and this arrangement stopped. So Kate stepped back from the project leader and she became the consultant. In another word, Typhoon Cafe is now fully my responsibility.
这个不用讲的了，这个是没有问题的。
We adjust it according to what they want, or we just give them the sugar and they add in. We are here today to go through our tea brewing process to make sure everything is in order. Yeah, so that's why we are here again.
The revamp of Typhoon placed me in a position whereby I'm fully inadequate to do it. Right? I felt very underqualified. I felt like I'm going to screw things up. I felt like I'm going to let down everybody that's working so hard on this project. I was in this mindset for a while and it was getting a bit disruptive. So I took a few days. I stopped thinking about this thing. I stopped letting the pressure get to me. And basically the conclusion that I got to is that, okay, I don't know F&B. That's a fact. I just don't have the expertise and that's not who I am. But I know what I stand for as a human being, and that should be the pillar of how I develop Typhoon Cafe's revamp. With that understanding down, I created 4 pillars, and these 4 pillars kind of put me in a place where I feel a lot more in control. To me, the number one thing is if I step into a space, it has to be comfortable. I don't need it to be fanciful, I don't need it to be whatever, you know, but it can't be dirty, it can't be uncared for. It has to be a comfortable space with comfortable lighting. I think we have done well in this area. So number 2 is unbeatable value. It's not about being cheap. It's about when you go to a place and you pay for a certain thing, that feeling of like, oh yeah, worth it. It was a very worth it experience. I think that is important to me as a consumer. So I wanted to make sure that Typhoon Cafe has this unbeatable value. And to do that, is to use a buffet concept, right? A buffet concept always delivers a lot of value because it's one fixed price and you know you're not going to spend more than that, and then you'll always be full. And then the second thing is that we decided to start the buffet at 1990 plus, which is ridiculously low. You won't be able to find anything even close to this price point in Singapore. Third is, a lot of people will put this first, but it's third in my list, which is yummy food. Okay, you can't go to an F&B place without yummy food, right? That's a deal breaker. To ensure this for Typhoon Cafe, what we did was that there was multiple rounds of exploration, and then we just came down for 2, 3, 4, 5 tasting sessions to just kind of find the ones that we like and then polish up all those one by one to make sure we get everything right. So the standard for Typhoon Cafe that we set for ourselves is that if the food is not good, then it shouldn't be on the menu, full stop. The last pillar is the something special. If you fulfill the first 3, you have a decent, comfortable, good experience at a place, right? But you might forget about it. So I think for me, all the F&B experience that I have in my head, there was a memory point, there was something that I remember about it. For us in Typhoon Cafe, our decision was to make the hot boiled milk tea our something special. The concept is really very new because commercially almost no one is doing it. There was a point whereby we realized that we wanted to cook it in a bigger batch so that the margins is better, right? But then we realized that up to the point of more than 10 per cooking, it just doesn't taste the same anymore. So we had to make the decision of whether this is even doable. But we decided to keep it because our whole point of having something special is for people to remember. And I think people, when they taste value, they know value. When they see it, they feel it, they know they're getting more than what they paid for. With the whole experience, it becomes something very ingrained in their memories. That's why we decided to bite down and still create this signature pot boiled milk tea. I think these 4 pillars became who I am as a F&B person, right? To make sure there's comfortable space, unbeatable value, yummy food, and something special. Okay, next we move on to the second half of March where I'm feeling much better. Things are at a full execution, which is actually just like last week. We managed to create about 30 plus dishes, and then 8 of them are the signatures that we are proud of and that we can stand behind. We started to clean up the area. We didn't have much, we only had 20,000 to do this whole revamp. So a lot of things we did ourselves. We started to repaint some of the walls ourselves, we started to change the lights on our own. We took down dusty stuff and then we threw away a lot of stuff. We cleaned up, we reinstalled LED lights that were not working, reprint posters, redesign our dinerware, and then we rebought everything, the presentation and everything we could do.
这间公司也是有33年的历史，因为毕竟我在这个公司我工作了14年，因为我们也是有感情的。后来听说，哇，就是被一个3兄弟突然被收购，其中还有一个电影明星，我就觉得，哇，是不是我们很难跟他们接触？实话讲，我是一点信心没有。但是后来从我们真正的要去想要把一个东西做好，Andie哇。他会很用心的，会separate很多时间来怎么去 push 这个东西。我觉得他都一直在带着我们往前冲，他在给我们一个方向，就是让这个东西其实 把一个不可能的东西，我们去做的一个可能。
Of course, we are very excited because we need a marketing strategies, and Andie will be there to support us. Even yesterday when we do the coffee tasting, when we tell him, "Boss, your turn," it's like he's so willing to do it. When we do the painting, also he wanted to do painting. So it's like, that's why I say, when you do with your team, there will be guaranteed success.
Then I'll tell them, oh, the tea, okay. You
Yeah.
gauge by smell?
Actually, it will change the color. It will darken.
Oh my god, look at it. Give you a close up, baby. Woo! 奶茶 color. Okay, 3 minutes. I think can. I think can.
Satisfied?
Yeah. Okay, so that day I'll put the pearl. I love this tea cup.
Tea ceremony. Tea ceremony?
亲手煮的。
好早意。
I like it not too sweet.
就希望你可以煮到你自己也会很喜欢。
coffee lover brand become 这个了。
呀，现在有 coffee 也可以啊 ，tea 也可以啊，每天换啊，每天换。
What stopped you from just walking away from Typhoon?
Oh, it's a great question. Because I know it's important to the company, and I promised my brother, which is Adam, that if he's gonna take the risk of acquiring Creative Eateries, but it's that promise, though. Okay, so if he's gonna take on that risk, then I will do everything in my power to make sure it succeeds. I cannot just watch this brand disappear because I think there's value here. They have some great products. We have a great space here at Plaza Singapura. The cooks are passionate. After discussing with Ture, I could also tell that he's dying for an opportunity to showcase what he can do as a head chef in an Asian cuisine setting. And I wanted to be that person to bring this opportunity to everyone in the team. There is something here. It is a brand that if you told me today that if I don't do anything about it, we're gonna close it, first customer. 我跟你们讲一下哦，因为我们今天是那个刚好我们在那个 transition 的 period，然后我们也有一个 buffet， 19块9 plus plus 而已。欢迎。Hello， 谢谢你们，谢谢，终于见到你。之前 OK， 我在台湾的时候我在台湾已经大概6年，第一次喝到购式奶茶是我老婆煮的。Hi. Hey, thank you so much for coming today. This is pot-boiled milk tea, 锅煮奶茶. I don't know why I'm weirdly nervous. When I was practicing, I was like, I got this. Okay.
来人多了，帮我上前面一起来，你先两个上。
哥可以吗？好喝吗？
你煮的那个比较好。
真的啊？因为有爱吗？We just completed the first round of the media tasting. The first round went somewhat smoothly, trying to be calmly optimistic, right? Because you don't celebrate until you see the results lah. So one more round at night, we'll see what happens then. The two experiences I really enjoy when I'm in Taiwan is when I went to one of their 西门町的茶馆. 2 minutes. Any questions? While we wait, so this process you're watching and waiting, right, is actually what it takes for them to cook it. Milk in. You want to see this? This is the visual part of it.
Tried out their a la carte lunch buffet, right? You put these two magic words together, a la carte and buffet, my smile very big.
I really like the 小笼包 and the noodles. Oh yeah, the first dish was 卤肉饭. Left me an impression as well.
For me personally, will be the misua. And then
With
I
a
also
lot too.
I like the fries the most. The 炒饭 very nice. I love the smell, the fragrance very good.
The last thing we tried was the beef noodle. Then when we tried like the beef noodle soup, we were like shockingly
nice. I really like the soup.
Eating when we thought we were full.
My favorite one is the milk tea, which was really cool because honestly that was how like my grandmother used to make us milk anything, like milk Milo, milk whatever.
如果茶的这个特性来比啊，我会更喜欢那个绿茶，你自己亲手做的，不是说你放很多爱啊。
对，有爱的乌龙茶。
爱的乌龙茶，对。
Because it's quite special, right? The bubble is a bit soft one. Usually it's a hard texture.
And not so sweet. It's very suitable for me.
The best part, apart from the food, honestly, was knowing that Andie's presence is like all over.
Not only does Andie have the heart for this place, he's adding a little more soul.
Yeah.
How do you think Andie has done with his job here?
Honestly, he has exceeded my expectations. He's my brother for so many years, and as an actor, to take on this role is asking for the sky. And I think he reached it and went far beyond. And I have to say, I've never been more proud of my brother. I just need to trust him, and he will have it done. At this point of how we are redeveloping CE, is one of the most important things for me. Right? And I think he knew it. He knew it.
台风现在这次的改变，其实我觉得我来吃饭，我是可以吃到很地道的台湾食物，然后我又有很好的照片，我可以 post 在我的 Facebook，post 在 Instagram。我觉得这是一个很好的一个 experience， 我觉得。
With the new revamp menu that we have right now, it's the butter tea that we are so excited to serve to the customers. He did a very good tea, and he's so proud, and I'm so proud because I'm the one who teach him. Sorry.
Just now today I overheard him saying something like, "Oh, 什么过程比较重要." Like the reason why we put in so much effort is because we want it to take off, and only when it take off do we have the resources to keep improving or increase the quality of life or give more platforms for everybody that is working on this project to do more, to try more, to grow more. This whole experience of these 2 months plus has been quite a learning and growth experience for me, and it feels like it's my baptism into the F&B space. Like it does feel like that. Is that the closing? We have finished the closing already. Baptism by bubble tea. 喝喝看。
很香哎。
真的假的？
不错啊。
真的哦。